Hi girls, I hope you're having an amazing day today. Welcome back to a new episode of the Creative Purpose podcast. If you heard some noises, it's because I'm trying to fix everything. I have everything ready. Today I again have half an hour to record the podcast as in the previous episode. So I hope I don't get disrupted by anything. If you hear some noises of a dog barking in the background, is my neighbor's dog. Today's episode, the tentative title of today's episode is All You've Been Going Through Helps You Overcome Things in the Future. And I wanted to talk to you about this topic because of something that happened to me yesterday. But as a context, I learned about this topic from a video from Elevation Church. I don't know if you remember that some months ago I talked to you about a church that posted videos on YouTube. I told you that I was getting into their videos and I was really enjoying the videos from Pastor Holly Furtick and also from his wife, Holly Furtick. So in one of her videos, she talked about this topic a little bit. And she said in a nutshell, she said that everything that happens to you is preparing you for something harder to happen. So for example, if one day something bad happens to you, like let's say you didn't pay for the TV, like your cable connection, so they cut you this connection for one day. So this experience taught you that you needed to pay in advance, and also it taught you that you can live without cable for one day, but you need to pay for the next day. So then some months pass by and you realize that you forgot to pay for gas. So you don't have gas for a whole day, and somehow you relate this experience to the previous one when you didn't pay cable, so it's not so traumatic as it could have been if you had just lived the first experience, or like the no gas paying, like this is your first experience not paying something and they cutting you the service for one day. So it's something like that. That's like in a nutshell, like something that you live right now is helping you in the future when you live something similar but a little bit worse maybe, or a little bit harder to experience. So that's like in a nutshell what this means. So why I chose to talk about it is because yesterday I received a new bad review on my Etsy store. So as you could remember, if you have listened to my episodes in the past, last year, I think, it was the first time that I received a bad review on my Etsy store. So my first bad review, but wasn't a bad review, was like a 4-star review. Like instead of 5 stars, this person gave me 4 stars. And instead of saying bad things, this person just said that the product was too basic for them and that it could be good for a person who's starting to learn a foreign language. So it was my first experience living something like that. So I was very, very sad about it. I felt terrible. I felt like the world was ending for me. I felt like I was going through hell, like my first bad review ever. And it wasn't a bad review, it was just 4 stars. But for me, it was the worst that could happen to me and my store. I thought that after that review, no one was going to keep buying from me. I thought like my business was over just because of this not so bad review, but for me it was very bad. So it was like going through hell because I never experienced this before. And I was very scared of this happening to me. I was all the time waiting for the moment when my first bad review arrived. So when it happened, I felt terrible. And I cried, of course, I cried. I felt like a victim, and it was very hard for me. The second time I got a bad review was a couple of months ago. It was like very recent, like maybe in February. So I got this new bad review, and this time was 3 stars review. So it was worse than the first one. And the girl who reviewed my product said that like it wasn't what she expected, but she also gave me some feedback with like tips on how to improve this product so that I could make it better. As you can see, this wasn't a very bad review, but of course I was like, oh no, again I'm having a bad review, and this time is worse than the first time. But somehow the first time I got a bad review prepared me for this second bad review that wasn't very bad, but for me it was bad. But somehow it prepared me for this moment. Even though I still felt quite bad, it prepared me, and I felt better than the first time I got the review. I didn't cry this time, and I even felt like, okay, it doesn't matter, even though it mattered for me, but I tried to step out of the feeling as soon as I could. And yesterday, it was my third time with a bad review, and this time, can you guess how many stars I received? I received 2 stars. So 2 stars. The review was maybe worse than the previous 2. It was shorter also, but this time it said like, I didn't like it, like it was too basic. I thought it would be better tips, something like that. And I felt like, so this is something I'll have to deal with from time to time. Like, this will happen to me. Eventually, I can get a 1-star review, and I have to know how to overcome this. Even though it's maybe sad, it's also something that will happen to me. I have to get used to this happening. So instead of crying, instead of feeling defeated, instead of feeling like a failure, instead of saying my business is over, like in the previous 2 times, my only reaction was like, oh, so she didn't like it, okay. And then, as a self-defense mechanism, I went to my folder on my phone where I have all my good reviews and all the good comments people make about my products. And I searched for a specific comment a person said of that same product that got 2 stars. And in this comment, the person said like it was the best product, like she really enjoyed it, she really liked it, she had like a lot of fun reading this thing, and it was a lot of tips that she never heard of before. So it's like completely the opposite of the other person's review. So of course I just felt like, okay, this is something that happens. So then I had an aha moment, and this was the moment where I said, okay, I need to talk about this in the podcast. And my aha moment was that this situation was preparing me for the future. In the past, when I received the first 2 reviews, and this time it's also preparing me for the future. And this also is preparing me for the future when I publish novels. As I want to publish novels, I will have bad reviews. That's something that will happen for sure. I will have bad reviews. Every author has bad reviews. And as I keep on experiencing this on my business, like having bad reviews, having people not fully happy with my business, with my content, with my products, it will be easier for me when it happens as an author, when it happens to me as an author. Because previously, I was all the time feeling like, oh, I would love to write books and publish novels and be an author. But there was also a part of my brain saying, but you will have bad reviews. That will happen. Of course, some people will like your books, but there will be people who won't like your books, and they will leave you bad reviews on Goodreads or on Amazon or wherever. they will leave you bad reviews. And that part of being an author really scared me, because even if I tried to create the best novel ever, even if I put all my soul and heart on that novel, there will be people who won't like what I write. And I was so scared of that. So that always kept me back, kept me back from trying to publish. I just sent my books like once or twice in my life to publishing houses, but then I never tried to resend these to other publishing houses, because I was always scared of. I think this experience is somehow preparing me for receiving bad reviews as an author. Now I don't feel so scared as before. Now that I have had like 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, and probably 1 star in the future, I don't feel so scared of bad reviews. I think when you have bad reviews, you need to be very analytical of the comment this person gave you and read between lines, like, is this person not liking my product because it wasn't good enough and it was so bad and it was awful? Or is it because this person thought the product was different of what she bought, actually? Or is it because this person likes, I don't know, black colors and my product is very colorful? Or is it because the information that this person wanted to receive was different? The reflection process I did, or like the realization I had after receiving this comment and thinking a little bit about it, was that maybe this person was an advanced language learner or already knew different languages and wanted to absorb more content, more deep content. And what happened was that she read my book, my ebook, and she didn't like it because my ebook is made for beginners mostly. It's made for people who maybe don't know anything about language learning, or they are just starting to learn foreign languages. But this person that wrote the review to me maybe was a person who already knew many languages and was very into language learning and already read a lot of books about it. So of course my ebook was going to be not this specific thing for her. So you have to do this process, but also the topic of this podcast is not only for reviews, of course. So every single thing you experience will help you overcome that same situation or a similar one in the future, whatever it is. So for example, last week I had to do something I wasn't prepared for because I hadn't done it in like 5 years. I won't tell you what that thing was, but it was something that made me feel very scared, very anxious. I was anxious the whole week because I had to do this thing that I wasn't prepared for, or I thought I wasn't prepared for, because I hadn't done it in a lot of time. So the only thing that made me feel better about it was remembering all those times I had to do this thing in the past, when I was younger and even more naive than now. So I tried to remember, like, when was the last time I did this? When was the last time I had to experience this thing on my own? So I went back in time and I started to remember all the times I had to do this thing on my own. And then I remembered, in fact, I am able to do this. I can do this. I can overcome this. I've been experiencing, or I experienced this thing in the past in ways that were harder maybe than today. So today I can say, as I am older, as I have more experience with the world somehow, I can say that I am more prepared to do it because I could do it in the past. So there are other examples, like for example, in your case, that can be driving, dating. For example, if you are dating again, you can remember, okay, last time I dated someone was maybe 4 years ago, and I could do it. It was possible for me. So if I could do it then, I can do it now. Also running a business. In my case, a part of me right now is a little bit scared because I'm running a new business, but the thing that gives me hope and makes me feel that it's possible is that I already ran a business before. So I'm still kind of running that business because it's not over. I'm just not creating new content for that business, but that business is running. So I have this first business experience, and right now I am doing a completely different business, but I have this other experience, so I know I can do it again. Also, uploading content online. If, for example, you're scared of uploading content, like, for example, you created an illustration or a course or a post, and you're scared of uploading this, try to remember the last time you uploaded something. And that will give you the strength to upload this if you're very scared of doing it. So maybe it's not going to be the exact same thing, and maybe you changed so much over time that you feel like it's not going to be possible for you right now, because maybe you think, but before, when I was younger, I had more courage than now. And right now I'm more anxious than before. Maybe that's truth, but just remember that all the little things you were able to do in the past, maybe things you thought would be impossible for you, were indirectly helping you overcome what you're going through right now. So whatever you experienced in the past, maybe you experienced really, really hard things, and you lived really stressful moments and bad moments, but right now those things are added up and are helping you somehow to overcome the thing that you need to overcome right now, the thing that you are trying to achieve right now. So that is everything for today's episode. I wanted to recommend you a movie today, and the movie is Turning Red. If you haven't watched it yet, I really, really, really recommend this movie to you. It's a really good movie about being a teenager, a woman, a teenager girl in Canada. This is a Chinese teenager and becoming a teenager and going through puberty. So it's really, really good. It's very like a fangirl movie. If you're a fangirl, if you love boy bands, if you loved something back when you were a teenager, a band, for example, and you were really obsessed with this band, in my case was One Direction. But if you went through that situation and being in love, having a crush with a guy from a band, you will love this movie a lot. It also talks about the communication and relationship between mother and daughter. So it's also very, very beautiful, very deep. So I really recommend it to you. It's fun, the colors are amazing, and the best part is that this movie was directed by a woman, and the main people working in the movie, the main team, was made out of 4 women. So it's really good if you want to watch the documentary. It's also available in Disney Plus. And yeah, so I really recommend you Turning Red. It's a lot of fun. You will love the music. The songs are awesome. And yeah, so I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope it has helped you. Maybe I can leave you down below in the description of the episode the link for the video of Elevation Church, where Holly Furtick talks about this topic. But if not, I really want to recommend you to reflect about everything. If you are going through something hard right now, whatever it is, try to recall the last time you experienced that thing. Try to think on all the different things that you did in the past that added up to the moment you are living right now, that can help you experience this thing and overcome this situation in the best way possible. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode and have a beautiful day ahead. See you next week. Bye.